right, we made it. This was about 40 minutes from our campground, the Candace Underground Salt Mine, Strataca. I feel like I say everything wrong on all my videos. You excited?
Yeah. Let's go.
Maybe we'll go on a train.
Yep.
Where are you, Will? Come on, Will. Okay, so you come in, you get your tickets, or you show them your tickets. There's a room to hang out with and get information. There's lockers, restrooms, and they call your ticket when it's your time. The gift shop is underground. We're gonna shop while we waited, but I guess that's not gonna happen. So we'll just read some info while we wait. These are the different salts that you can get out of the earth. So this is all produced by Hutchinson's Salt Company.
That's cool.
So it's all road salt, right?
Mm-hmm. But you can make salt.
You got it? Yeah. So we had to watch a little safety video, and now we're getting our hard hats on. You look cute in a hard hat.
Daryl's going along with it.
Whoa, this is small. I pictured this being a lot bigger since it holds equipment. Huh?
Yeah.
Didn't see any hands being raised. No, it does take us about 15 seconds to speed up. We travel at full speed for about 60 seconds, and it takes us another 15 seconds to slow down. In a couple of seconds, we're actually going to start to see some light coming through this back window here. That's actually Underground Vaults and Storage's underground facility. Underground Vaults and Storage actually has 45 acres of storage here underground. They store everything from movie memorabilia, medical records, gas and oil records, bank records. You name it and they'll store it underground. In fact, right after your guys' train ride today underground, you'll be able to go through just a small exhibit just showing you just a fraction of some of the stuff that they store underground. All right, there's a small step down, so watch your step as you're coming on.
How do you guys?
Yeah. So the whole tour is pretty much self-guided. You can walk through on your own. They just kind of bring you down here and let you go. And then we're gonna find the train when we're ready to get on it. So you are here. We're right where they're pointing, and then that's the whole mine. 650 feet underground we are right now.
All right, let's go, Mom. Mom, there's so much salt here. It's crazy.
This is granite right here, right? Is this salt right here, or is this granite?
That's salt. No, he said no touching.
Oh, that is salt. Oh my gosh. I figured we were in bedrock right now or something.
He said no touching. It's salt, Mom. It's real salt. It's like
Salt dust.
what is it? What's
Salt dust. Permian playground. Dig your hands and explore different minerals. This is oversized rock salt. And this is mud.
Yep.
Hardened mud. Slab of salt.
Holy cow. It's
Oh boy. No, we can't play music down here. This is like really big.
Yeah.
And alone. I feel so alone. We're the only ones down here.
I know.
So now we're at some of the exhibits down here.
Oh, my train. Oh, train thing. There's help.
That's a cute train, huh? It looks a lot like the gold mine train when we're in Kellogg, Idaho.
No, Mom, that has health.
Oh yeah, safety first.
It's a hospital train.
It's pretty rusty down here, huh?
Yes, it is.
It says they paint their cars every
Safety first.
once. I can't remember how often.
Safety first. That's what it means.
It's funny.
No, safety first before you go into the train.
Yep. Mike Rowe was here. Oh my God, Evan. I'm glad that's not a Corvette. Yeah, maybe that's why they didn't let you touch it the other day.
Well, there's no road.
This is not the concept for hikers, right?
No.
Take it in, take it out, or campers, or anything.
Come on, our video. No, I'm supposed to post it.
They have to bring all this equipment down here piece by piece in the elevator shaft. And they have to keep it low so that it can fit. I'd build a bigger elevator shaft.
You have to sit twice.
Well, she's not over here.
No, I didn't. Watching her probably.
So then after they're done blasting it, they bucket it all out. And their storage shed outside holds 100,000 tons of salt.
Mom, that's the conveyor thing.
This is a 1954 ore car. You can take a picture in it. Over here is a train too. It looks like a little Christmas train. I don't think it's going today, but it's cute. We'll have to ask.
It's for Christmas, Mom.
I don't know. We're gonna ask though. If we can ride it, we're gonna ride it. So this is like the movie area. Different movie set memorabilias and stuff. Standard user double bar pistol.
Okay.
It's Men in Black, so it's like for killing aliens. All right, so the saying "send it to the salt mines" means that a lot of the movie footage and stuff was getting ruined, and so they decided to house stuff down here. So this is where they store it so that it doesn't get ruined from like humidity and other things that can ruin film. So that's why there's all this film stuff down here. And they have huge storage rooms that hold a lot of Hollywood stuff. Hollywood secrets, maybe. So they got healthcare records down here. They got artwork. They've got history stuff. Old computers. Oh my gosh. 38 computer IBM systems.
Buttons.
Newspaper articles that are important. All kinds of stuff that would otherwise eventually get ruined. So this is the vault, underground vault. Oh, that's cool. Right? As a director, you'd have all your film out on that table. I have to keep track of it all. Now it's all digital.
To do that.
Yeah, that's all old film. Do not go past. This is all vault storage. I don't know if there's really anything in these boxes. It must be empty, huh? Yeah, just for show. Okay. I was like, wow. All right, so there's the gift shop. We're going to go on the train, and then we'll come back and do the gift shop. Okay?
In the wall to your right is a bulkhead. A bulkhead is what the miners call a wall that was used to direct airflow. This bulkhead is made of 1.5-inch thick tongue and groove planks supported by 6-inch by 6-inch timbers and sealed with black tar paper on the backside to keep air from that part of the mine from coming into this side. It was slowly being crushed by the roof, but as you can see, it finally came down. On the platform are a couple of two-thumbed gloves. In the 1940s, when this area was being mined, everyone conserved materials for the war effort. The miners would wear the gloves until they wore out the palms. Then they would wear them on the opposite hands, using the second set of thumbs until they wore out the backs of the gloves. Now, stories have been told that Mr. Carey, the owner of the Carey salt mine, was always after the miners to pick up their trash and not contaminate the salt. Well, apparently a miner rolled up these gloves and stuffed them in a blasting hole, because that's where we found them, 60 years later, when we opened this part of the museum. Now, if you look close on the wall to the right, it appears there's another glove stuffed in a blasting hole.
See it over there in the hall? Ugh, it's getting a lot, like, lower.
To your left, you'll see a rare sight, what the miners call a roof fall. The pieces on the floor used to be the roof.
Oh, God.
But over a number of years, the salt started sagging away from the compacted mud layer above it and eventually fell. Now, even though only a few rooms ever develop a roof sag, everywhere in the mine that people will walk, drive, or ride, we monitor the roof, and sags are removed when necessary. Can you imagine how it must have sounded when this roof fell?
Nope.
Poured salt from the mine face to the salt skip, where it was hoisted topside. Then, in 1983, they switched to a conveyor belt system. On the left is a car that was used to haul salt, and railroad tracks that were abandoned when mining left this area in the 1950s. Everything that comes down in the mine stays in the mine. And if you look at the lit area, you'll see that this is even true of mining trash. Now, we know this area was mined in the 1940s and used as a break area in the 1950s. And we found many name brand products in this trash pile from that time period, and some of which are still around today. There are a couple of things that we noticed here. One, there's a calendar from 1953 on the floor by the rocks on the left. And two, when we found it over by the pillar, the gray trash can, well, it was empty. We consider all these items to be artifacts, which only proves one person's trash is another's treasure.
Oh, gosh.
In case you were wondering, trash isn't the only thing miners left underground. And apparently this area was used as a restroom. Oh, no fancy porta pots here. And they weren't very careful with the toilet paper either. And this is one reason we say, don't lick the salt.
Oh, gross.
As we round the curve up ahead, two spotlights will come on. The first on the left will highlight a stack of empty cardboard dynamite boxes. Then on the right, you'll see a pillar that is scaling or spalling. This means that the salt is breaking away from the wall. And like roof sags and floor heaves, this is a natural occurrence in a salt mine. And as your ride continues, keep in mind, we've tried to leave the mine just as it was years ago. Now exit carefully to your left. Go back through the loading bay and continue your underground adventure. And thanks for riding the Salt Mine Express.
Ricky Bobby from that movie. I don't remember. Talladega Nights. What's this one? Matt Damon and Monument Men. And now we're back out at the gift shop. Oh, I like that bag.
You can't do it here, but you can do it in Can I sit with you?
This is the last ride. So now we're gonna go on the tram ride, which goes through on another tour. This one's comfy.
Yeah.
Too big, then they cut it up into pieces, lower down, reassemble when they get here. Now the miners have a saying, what goes in the mine stays in the mine. When equipment eventually breaks down, they can't recycle it anymore, they just leave it sit and they move on. They're not going to utilize the shaft to haul up junk because that would halt salt production. So it goes in the mine, stays in the mine. If you notice the ore cars, the CSC stands for Carry Salt Company. When these cars were in use, they would load them with 4 tons of salt. They'd have a man that stood on either side of these cars. They were called muckers, and they would load that 4 tons of salt by hand. It took them about an hour and a half to fill a car, at which point they were issued a brass chip that they would turn in topside for 50 cents. A good mucker could make $4 a day.
$4 a day if you were really good.
The red car here is an explosives car. The original explosive used here was dynamite. They then switched to ample. Ample is ammonia nitrate mixed with diesel fuel, or to put it in simpler terms, it's manure mixed with fuel, or to put it in the simplest of terms, it's moo-moo, poo-poo, boo-boo. Those ribs were created by a single blast at the time this area was being mined out in the 40s and 50s. They also indicate the depth of the blast, which was about 8 to 10 feet at that time. Now the miners don't call that a wall, they simply refer to it as ribs. With some imagination, you can imagine yourself sitting with Jonah inside the great fish. As we move forward, we're going to look above. You're going to see some carvings and scrolling. This is created by a machine called a continuous miner. UVS uses this machine to prepare the storage bays. We use it to raise our ceiling. The machine has a cylinder on the front of it that's embedded with tungsten teeth, and it spins, and that's what gives it the scrolling look. This machine is so massive and uses so much electricity that it requires its own transformer. It can only be ran at night. It kicks up so much dust and debris that the operator has to stand in another room and operate it using a remote control. Salt or crystal pod. After the salt bin was created, the water had seeped back in, it pulled up, it washed out the impurities that you see underneath it there, and when it dried, it left that pure, white, crystallized salt. That salt is 99.9% pure. It's the purest salt you'll find in the salt bed. The impurities that are washed out underneath it, the dark substance is not pepper. This isn't a salt and pepper mine. That's silt. And the red substance is red salt. And what makes red salt red? Well, it could be iron, it could be potassium. More than likely, it's sylvite. But I'm going to turn off the lights for a little bit.
It hurts my eyes.
You ready?
Look at the pillar to your left.
Look at the pillar.
I don't see it.
Now, what pillar? This is mine darkness. Won't be able to see your hand in front of you, so
I can.
Obviously, they need light to focus.
I can see a little bit.
Yeah, if you look to the right, you'll see some light, but if you look to the left, you can't see any. The miners took extreme care and caution to make sure the lights were in good working condition. I meant, if you look to the right, you'll see light. Anyway, the miners took extreme care and caution to make sure the lights were in good working condition. Prior to the 50s, they used what were called carbide lights. And their only source of light was an open flame on the front of their helmets. If they weren't careful, they could easily snuff them out. The miners travel in twos, so if one has problems with his lights, the partner can help out with his. in desperate situations, they would try to find one of those rib walls like we saw a few minutes ago. Those ribs all face the same direction, and supposedly if you follow them, they'd eventually lead you back to the shaft. I don't want to find out. My favorite thing about mine darkness, you can make a face at your neighbor and they'll never know it.
Oh boy.
Think we touched somebody.
I did.
Take a right to look at that, you're going to see a gob wall. That's Geology gob. These are made by taking old dynamite boxes, filling them with salt, and gobbing them up to make these walls. This is hard and laborious activity, as salt is very heavy, about 135 pounds per cubic foot. Now the purpose of these gob walls are twofold. First, they seal off areas that were potentially dangerous, and more importantly, they help to direct airflow. We have a cross-relation system in this mine. The miner's air comes from our shaft, and our air comes from a miner's shaft that was built in 1922. Their shaft is called a skip. It has two buckets that are counterbalanced. They're filled with 4 tons of salt. While one bucket goes up, the other goes down, and the miners ride on a hoist that travels between the buckets.
There's no animals in here. Look up.
And the density.
Hold your helmet and look up.
This is a red salt deposit. Okay, can everybody see it there?
Yep.
Salt anymore, it becomes trapped. This is called fluid inclusion. At the turn of the century, there were 3 scientists from New Mexico that came here and did some experimentation with fluid inclusion, and they were able to retrieve and revive 4 prehistoric bacteria that swam around in a petri dish for a while. I find this fascinating. Didn't Jurassic Park start out something like that? These are measurement instruments. What the Atomic Energy Commission was most interested in was the closure rate of the mine. They were hoping that the salt would close in around it fast enough to seal and neutralize the nuclear waste. After 10 years of testing, however, they discovered that the closure rate of this particular mine is 2 to 3 1/1000ths of an inch each year. That works up to about 1 inch every 500 years.
Wow.
Needless to say, it wasn't fast enough.
Nope.
The nuclear waste is now stored in the salt beds of New Mexico.
About almost done the tram ride, and they let you off to get some of your own salt. Fill a little baggie, or you can get a ball that big.
What's the?
If you get a big chunk up, Dad's not gonna let you bring it in the camper. Get a little bag.
I want to get a big one. Yeah, I'm gonna get a big one.
You found one that fit in the bucket.
What are you getting one?
Willie's filling his bag.
Come see us again. God bless. And when I come to a stop, you may need a tram from the left.
So we're waiting for the what is it? Hoist to come back down, pick us up, get us back up,
So if you put something
on the
this
earth
floor,
side.
Mom, so if you put something on this floor, we'll eat it.
Right. So we asked what this floor is because it's a lot of concrete through this whole mine. And he said that then instead of using sand, they use salt. So it's Salt Creek. And that's why you cannot have any food or drinks down here, because if you spill it on the floor, it will just eat right through the floor. Isn't that funny? Makes sense. Good thing we listened to the rules. We made it! Topside! Woohoo! Did you guys have fun?
Yeah. Yeah.
What'd you learn? Anybody learn anything?
I learned a lot.
You can't eat salt, like
You
just straight
can't-
up salt. You have to like do a process.
Yeah.
Well, this is road salt too. Salt for the roads, and they don't use it in Maine. We have closer mine.
Lick it. You know why?
Why?
What was it? The porta potties.
Yeah, people go use porta potties down there.
Also, we have a bin of salt for our road, And I always thought that was the same thing as other salt. And Dad told me the same. Dad told me you can just eat it, so I ate some of it one time.
Well,
It was not that
that's
bad.
gross. All right, say bye.
Bye.
Okay, what?
Goes in the mine, stays in the mine. But the thing I just learned is we're just in the mine and we came out of the mine.
Yeah.
So we went in the mine, we came out. So it's not true.
Oh gosh, let's
No.
go.